What's up guys, it's Morgan and welcome back to another video. Okay, so in one of my recent videos, I said that I'm going to be a lot more open and honest about mental health, my diagnosis, my journey, and just like mental health in general. So in today's video, I'm going to say 8 truths about what it's really like taking antipsychotic / antidepressant medication. We're going to talk about stigma, we're going to talk about what people think they know versus what's actually true. And yeah, just generally we're going to talk about taking medication for mental health. So let's go. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to tackle, there is this sort of stigma attached to taking medication, especially for mental health, that is, if you take medication, you're weak. Like, you should be able to struggle through this. And I just like, let's just hit this nail on the head straight away. You are not weak if you are taking medication for anything. Like, if you are strong enough to go forward and ask for help, tell people about what you're really feeling and going through, that is strength on its own, okay? If their solution for what you're going through or like something that can help you is medication, that is not them giving you a weakness, like at all. So if your doctor's prescribing medication and you have that in your head where taking medication is weak, drop it. It is not weak at all in any means. Okay, so thing number 2 that we are going to tackle. Medication for mental illness is not a cure. It never has been, never will be. If you are diabetic and you take an insulin shot, you are still diabetic. It's the same with mental illness. Like if you are bipolar and you take medication and you're no longer showing the signs of bipolar, that's because the medication is working, but you are still bipolar, okay? Just get it straight to the point. Taking medication is not a cure. It's like a tool that you can use to help you get back into normal life. For example, if you have depression and you take antidepressants, the goal for you is remission, which is basically where you don't have all the symptoms. You know, you're starting to feel like getting back into your routine. You start to feel like a lot more better. That is remission, that's great. But there was no cure for it. That was just like a tool you used to sort of get your life back on track. Which leads on to thing number 3. Okay, so I've heard this so many times in my life, and I know a lot of people think this, especially family members or people that are not actually going through the mental problems. They say like, oh, you're fine now, so why are you still on medication? Or you've been on medication for a whole year, like, why aren't you better now? And it's like, going back to point number 2, guys, you're not cured, okay? So I don't know why people seem to think that like medication for mental illness is like an antibiotic. Like, it's not like you get a set course and then you're like, hey presto, I'm all good again. Like, it does not work like that. For me, I have a chemical imbalance, okay? The medications I take balance them up a bit. Other people already have that balance. If I go off the medication, I unbalance. It's that simple, okay? Some people don't need to take medication for the rest of their lives. That is true, because they learn how to deal with it and they learn how to cope with it. And sometimes they just use medication as a tool to get them back on track. Other people, medication is a whole life thing. Like, it's a commitment. You get married to it. Like, bipolar, you're basically on medication for your whole life. Now, there are other things that you can try, 100%, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, don't ever ask someone that is taking medication for a mental illness or mental problems, you're fine now, why are you still on it? Like, it's not a flu jab, it's not an antibiotic. If they're taking medications, just let them take them. Let their doctors decide what's best for them, and then don't put any of your judgment in there because it does not help. Okay, so with medications, let's talk about something very real, which is side effects. So taking medication, any medication, there are going to be side effects, and with any antipsychotic, antidepressant, mood stabilizer, whatever you're taking, there will 100% be side effects. But if you look on the back of a painkiller, paracetamol, whatever you're taking, if you look to the bottom of the leaflet of some painkillers, it literally can say like 1 in 1 million person died. And that's considered side effects because one person felt that way. So yeah, for medication, for antidepressants, for example, there are loads of side effects. Some of them, for me, my side effects were weight gain, acne. Obviously, as a teenager growing up, they were not side effects that I wanted. During the first week of taking antidepressants, one of the main side effects is like an increased risk of suicide. So during the first week, they really check on you. So you're probably thinking, wow, that sounds horrendous. Like, why would you ever want that in your body? That is for that person to decide. If you, for example, for me, I just weighed out side effects that could possibly happen, not confirmed that would happen, or what would definitely happen if I wasn't on medication. And this one made this one very easy to choose, okay? With the side effects as well, like, it's not always black and white. It's not always like you'll take this and all of a sudden you'll gain like 10 pounds. It does not work like that. For me, what happened was the side effect of my medication, like, I got really, really fatigued, quite foggy. But because of that, I basically started eating more, working out less because I was tired all the time, which meant that I gained weight. So it balances out like that. But That decision for the side effects versus this is for that person who is taking the medication to make. While we're talking about side effects, let's move on to point number 5. So one size does not fit all, okay? It is not a black and white situation with medication, okay? Which is annoying. You basically have to go through a trial and error process of taking medication. Purely because everyone's bodies are different and everyone reacts differently. For example, for me, when I started going medication when I was 16, I was on like risperidone, I think, but that completely like comatose me. And it's not because that's what's meant to happen. Just the dose that I went on straight away, my body reacted like very intensely to it. So I was literally passed out, like I wasn't even coming to, which obviously was not ideal for me being like a GCSE high school student. So went back to my doctors, we fixed that, okay? Every other like month, I had to go back to my doctors and they would either go up a dose, go down a dose. But when you get to that point where you're on medication that really works for you, it is such a good moment in your life, guys. Like, it is so perfect. It's literally just like going to a dress fitting. You need to keep on taking it down an inch, going up an inch, you know, fixing certain parts. And it's, you know, the doctor will help build these medications for you. It's like baking a cake, guys, a personal cake, all right? And it does take time and effort and commitment. But when you get to that point where you've literally been so specific that it works perfectly for you and only you, like, that is a great place to be. And I really recommend going on the trial and error process if you want to go on medication. That being said as well, guys, if you are on medication and it's not making you feel good, you can 100% go back to your doctors and be like, I don't really want to be on this anymore. Is there anything else? Or can we lower the dose? Can we do this? Like, you are in complete control, which is something that no one told me. I just felt like crap for months and just sat around and I was like, I didn't really like this. And they were like, you know, you can just say that and we'll like adapt for you. But like, they want to help you, okay, at the end of the day. You're their patient. So if you really have a problem, if you want to talk to them, if you want to adapt, lower the dose, go on something else, talk to them, okay? It is a conversation that you want to have with your doctor, 100%. So for point number 6, this is something that someone said to me that I feel like we just have to tackle because I can't be the only person in the world that this has been said to. So someone once said to me that you're not yourself when you're on medication. And I was in school at the time and it really hit me because it made me start thinking like, maybe this medication was like suppressing my real self. Like maybe my real self is, you know, the mental illness side of me where I am like sporadic at one point and I am like sad at one point, and maybe this medication was like dulling me down as a personality, you know. And yeah, and I really had to sit back and talk to myself and like really evaluate my situation. And then I came to the conclusion, fuck you. Guys, I am not my illness, you know, I am not mood swings, I am not, you know, sporadic this, I am not depression here, extra kind of euphoric moment there. Like, yes, they are great when they are happening, when the good things, when it's the bad things, they are not so great. And I'm not going to identify my personality as a mental illness, you know. Yeah, sometimes I am a bit all over the place, and yeah, sometimes I'm a bit of a klutz, and sometimes I'm this and that, but I am not my mental illness. What my medication does for me is it takes away the symptoms of mental illness. I am no longer hallucinating. I'm no longer on a mood pendulum. I'm no longer filled with like anxiety. I'm no longer crying all the time. Like, that is not me. And if anyone thinks that you, with your mental illness, is something, you know, that they want more rather than you being stable on medication, they are not a good friend, they are not a good person, and they should be out of your life. Now, I'm not saying that anyone should not accept you for who you are, okay? I am Morgan. I have been diagnosed with bipolar, and that is a part of me, but that is not who I am. Does that make sense? Like, Liam, my boyfriend, he completely accepts me for who I am, completely accepts half the time when I'm going off on one tangent saying like, screw you, like I'm not bipolar, like I haven't got a diagnosis, like that's not who I am. And then other times where I'm like, oh yeah, that was definitely like an episode. Like that, yeah, that is me. But I'm not the person that people have met where I'm drowning in like episodes or drowning in like my mental disorders. Like, that is not me. And if someone like likes you better like that, then snip snip, it's 2020 people. That is not a healthy relationship. They shouldn't be in your life. But yeah, you are you when you are on your meds, okay? Don't let anyone tell you differently. You are you when you are flourishing into a beautiful flower, okay? You are you. Okay, so thing number 7. Now, this is still like a mental thing that people generally believe. Okay, so people still believe that medication for mental illness are happy pills. Like, if you're depressed and you take antidepressants, boom, like you should be happy. No, guys, that is such a prehistoric, like caveman logic, okay? What antidepressants do, it gives you a stepping stone, like a ladder, so you can get to the point where you're no longer drowning in depression, emptiness, sadness. Like, It is not something that's like, hey, give you these and boom, like, oh, only happiness. Hence why someone that's on antidepressants can still cry and can still feel sad. It can still feel bad, okay? It just gives them a chance to feel happy. It gives them a chance to be more than just alone in their room, cooped up, or whatever kind of depressive episode they're having. It gives them a stepping stone to get out of that and to feel more, okay? But in no way are they happy pills. So don't ever question why someone that's on antidepressants is sad or angry or annoyed. Like, they can still feel the full like spectrum of human emotions. Like, it doesn't take that away from them, okay? Obviously, if someone's on antidepressants and they're still completely and utterly depressed, they need to go back to their doctor and they need to talk about it. But don't think that someone that takes these pills, like, their personality is just, wow, 100% happy all the time. Like, it doesn't work like that. Okay guys, so point number 8, this stigma surrounding this idea of taking medication for mental illness is creating boundaries on the help that people can get. I know a lot of people that are scared to take crazy pills or are scared to take these pills because they don't want to get addicted, they don't want to have like complete personality change, they don't want to feel different, they don't want to be different. And obviously there are other treatment methods out there. Like, there are other things that you can do, there are natural supplements you can take, there are like just generally going out there and, I don't know, some people are like, oh yeah, I work out once a day and that's completely helping me get out of my depressive episode. Good for you, like, go you. There are 100% other options. If you want to explore other options, go for it. But as a society, we should not be restricting the idea of taking medication as an option, as a viable option from people and scaring them into this idea that they can't take medication, okay? It's creating boundaries, it's creating this idea that, you know, if as soon as they go onto the medication, then they're now officially crazy, or that they're gonna go off the rails and just become this crazy, like, crackhead that's on these medications. Like, no. So many people out there that are just taking the tiniest dose of antidepressants or the tiniest dose of this, and it just to get them through their day, just to help them, you know, be the best person they can be, just to get them back on their feet. And I really am just gonna like advocate taking medication does not show that you're weak, it does not show that you're crazy, it doesn't show that you're accepting like this only method. It just shows that you're trying to get better, okay? And if you go on medication and it really doesn't work for you, that is fine too, you can come off it. But us, the outstanding people who are just watching something happen, we should never ever restrict someone's treatment options. You don't have the right at all to say, don't go on medication, like, don't do this, don't do that. Obviously you can give your opinion if you feel like, oh, I once had a friend that like went on this and they reacted really badly. If you really want to tell them that, that's fine. But everyone is different and everyone adapts to medication differently. So do not take that treatment option away from them with this stigma attached to taking medication for mental illness. Because taking medication has saved my life, okay? And it can be saving other people's lives. And if they're so scared of not taking medication because of people's judgment, because of people's opinions, because they've heard this from aunt, uncles, friends, dads, grandma about how, you know, back in the 1940s they took medication and this guy became like this crazy guy. Like, it's 2020, people. Let's get into a new mindset. Let people make decisions for themselves. Because store-bought neurotransmitters, guys, are still okay. Store-bought chemicals that you need to balance yourself out with are still okay, all right? If you're diabetic, you're not gonna be like, go away insulin, I'm gonna be strong enough to get through this. Like, no. If you have a broken leg, you're not gonna sit there and go, no, I can't wear a cast, I'm gonna do this on my own. No. If you have a cut on your finger and it gets infected and you go to the doctor and they say, look, you really need some antibiotics for that, and you go, no, look, I'm gonna get through it myself. Like, I can do this by myself. Like, I do not want chemicals, I do not want medicine in my body, like, go away. That sounds stupid, right? So it's the same thing with medication and mental illness, okay? Obviously, I'm not gonna say that you guys have to have the same opinion as me, but I'm just saying give people the freedom and the choice to decide for themselves, okay? With the right information and the actual correct knowledge rather than just your stigmas or rather than just your sort of beliefs, okay? Yeah, to conclude, guys, if you're thinking about taking medication and you're scared, the only person you should be speaking to is your doctor. They will be completely upfront, honest with you. They will tell you all the side effects. They'll tell you the things you need to worry about. If you have questions, go with your list of questions. At the end of the day, your doctor is there for you, okay? But that'll be the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.